Evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular Real School Division Board of Trustees. Those of us joining you in the room and joining us online, we're delighted to have you here. And it's so nice to see students in the boardroom. So welcome, especially to all of the joined us. We have to do a little bit of housekeeping stuff, but we are looking forward to hearing from you and learning from you tonight. So thank you very much for joining us, and to your adults for joining you as well and bringing your. We start with the land acknowledgement this evening from Trustee Turner.
The Louis Riel School Division brings together a community of schools on the traditional land of Quebec and Inahuac in Dakota. Our division is located on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We recognize that Manitoba is also the traditional land of the Anishinaabe and Dene. We respect the treaties made on this land and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and present. We dedicate ourselves to authentic alliances with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and cooperation.
Thank you very much. So just please be aware, for those in the room, that we do record these meetings just to make sure that our minutes are recorded accurately. We have regrets this evening from Trustee Simignola, and we also have, for those of you that are staying until the end, a question period at the end of the meeting where you can ask any questions that you might have about items on the agenda. For anybody that is joining us online, if you've got general questions, you can certainly email your trustee or email info@lrsd.net, and we will do our best to get you the information that you need in a timely manner. The vision of the Louis Riel School Division is for all members of our community to excel as caring, confident, capable, and resilient lifelong learners who contribute to a democratic and sustainable world. And our mission is to provide a safe, inclusive, and engaging environment where personal and collective learning are valued and each one of us reaches our full potential. First item on the agenda this evening is to approve the agenda. I need a mover and second. Trustee Gary or Trustee Turner. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. There we go. Next is to approve the minutes of our regular held on March 5th. Those minutes were distributed in advance. I haven't heard from anyone that there's any errors or omissions, so we will accept those as they were distributed and accordingly, or published accordingly, I guess. And minutes of the special meeting on March 12th again were distributed, and I haven't heard that there's anything that needs correction, so we will accept those and distribute them as well. Item 3 is some news. First of all, news from the Board of Trustees from Trustee Nordheim.
So as we careen towards spring break, the schools in Louis Riel School Division are making the most of the bookends of school, athletics, and fine arts. We are so proud of our students for their involvement and so grateful to staff and community volunteers for the dedication and time given to these important educational opportunities. In sports, we have and this was written last week, so I'll have an addendum. In sports, we have the following teams representing our division in provincials, and it's ongoing at the time of writing of this article, finished last night. The Dakota boys and girls varsity teams and their junior varsity boys and girls were in provincials, with the Dakota girls emerging as champions last night. CJS junior varsity girls for 3A, Belleville varsity girls in 3A, and Nelson Mack varsity boys in 3A, all in provincials. And having completed their provincials last weekend in Brandon, WP junior varsity boys were provincial champs. And that's the first time for JV boys for Windsor Park. So that's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations to them and to all of our divisional representatives. On the fine arts side, I want you to pay attention to the way I've written this. I think it's hilarious. J.H. Bruns and Blaise Jean Sauvé presented Mamma Mia, the musical. And so we say, thanks for the music and for giving it to me, us. Thank you very much. And Glen Lawn Collegiate invited the community to be their guest at the performance of Beauty and the Beast. This is all going on amidst the hard work and communication of report cards and parent-teacher interviews in our K-8 schools. So we want to express a thank you along with wishing all staff and students a wonderful, well-deserved spring break with sincere gratitude from the Board of Trustees.
Thanks, Irene. News from senior leadership this evening from Assistant Superintendent Anderson.
Very good, thank you. I'm going to present highlights from 4 schools. École Provencher is first on my list. February was Black History Month, and on Friday, February 16th, École Provencher invited students to come dressed in their culture's traditional attire. And students spoke about when and for which occasion they would wear traditional clothing. They visited other classes and shared their traditions with them as well. So a fine looking bunch of students in the photo you'll see there. And at École Guillot, they held a grade 7 and 8 wellness day. Students from these grades participated on January the 24th, and you'll remember that's right around Bell Let's Talk Day. Educators and community activists were involved, notably Mitch Bourbanière, who came to speak to students in the morning about the importance of mental health and actions they can take to be mindful of it. In the afternoon, the students had an opportunity to choose between different workshops. There was skating at Southdale Arena, 9 rounds boxing, yoga, art therapy, jewelry making, lots of different choices for them, and a great opportunity to try something new and to learn together. At École Van Bellingham, incidentally, we have a few fans in the room here this evening. There was a very exciting day at school yesterday. École Van Bellingham hosted a citizenship ceremony. There were 57 new Canadians who were from 14 different countries that received their citizenship yesterday. And we're very grateful to the intermediate choir who sang O Canada, and to Elder Chickadee who offered a blessing, and grade 7 and 8 students who worked as ambassadors. And a number of classrooms were able to attend in person, and others watched through a live stream into the classroom. We also had congratulatory remarks from Trustee Palmquist, who brought greetings on behalf of the board. Another activity of note at École Van Bellingham is their Indigenous language program that is well underway. And this is new at École Van Bellingham. It has been in place at other schools for longer, but since the beginning of February, all of the kindergarten and grade 1 classes are learning Cree with instructor Rosalind Gott. So they are very excited about that. And just giving you a heads up, circle the date. Spring music concerts are coming up April 16th to the 18th. So lots happening there. And finally, General Vanier on February 29th celebrated Anti-Racism Day. This was organized by their Anti-Racism Club, and this was the 3rd time that they have done this with a more inclusive approach. The event encouraged students and staff to wear black shirts in solidarity with anti-racism efforts within the school community. The genesis of this day traces back to 2022 when Elijah, who was in grade 3 at the time, questioned the absence of a designated Black Shirt Day during a Black History Month lesson. This inquiry led to the formation of a team that spearheaded the inaugural assembly and established the Anti-Racism Club. This year's day showcased a comprehensive PowerPoint crafted by the club. Jamie Moses, MLA for St. Vital, delivered opening remarks. Club members spoke to their respective slides, and covering topics such as expressing gratitude for participation, defining racism, addressing responses to witnessing racism, highlighting the impact of harmful language, and calling for commitment through an anti-racism pledge. Additionally, the event featured a reading of Change Sings by Amanda Gorman and concluded with a performance by the grades 7 and 8 guitar class to Bill Withers' Stand By Me. And Trustee Palmquist was able to attend the assembly and tweeted about it afterwards, and that significantly amplified the visibility of the event and attracted the attention of Maggie McIntosh of the Winnipeg Free Press, who featured the event as a sidebar in her story honoring Lee Williams, a local Black hero that appeared in the paper on March the 5th. So this is a wonderful example of a grassroots initiative cultivating an inclusive and equitable educational environment.
Thank you very much, Jeff, and to both of you for giving us a glimpse into what's been going on in some of our schools. We value the opportunity just to pause, and you're good, so that's great. Presentation to the board this evening. We have a presentation that covers safe routes to schools and also our student patrols and crossing guard experiences. And I believe Amarbir is going to set this up for us.
Yes, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Amarbir, as all of you know. I'm just here to introduce Diane Laravay. I don't want to mispronounce the name, so I just want to make sure that, sorry for that. Diane is going to present about Safe Routes to School program, and this program was launched in 2018 as a result of an extensive review of our Safe Routes to School program. And we were looking at how to improve safety for our students. And as a result, we were able to introduce a formal crossing guard training program and a walking school bus program in our school division. I had additional crossing guards to support various schools and also launch walking school buses in some of our schools. So I'll pass on to Diane to present more about this program.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us to the board meeting to present about safe routes to school. I'm Diane Laravay. I was hired in 2019 as a crossing guard supervisor for the Louis Riel School Division. As part of my role, I provide training and support to the crossing guards in the schools in Louis Riel Division when they have a traffic concern. I visit the schools and observe traffic and safety issues as they relate to safe routes to school. On slide 2, we will be talking about, as you can see on the slide, we'll review the 3 main components to safe routes to school: the crossing guard program, the walking school bus program, and the school program that we have, and we have some students to talk about that later. On slide 3, the school crossing guard program, training program, is part of an educational awareness program designed to teach the crossing guards and the procedure and the techniques necessary to safely cross the students and pedestrians. In the Louis Riel School Division, we have crossing guards in all of our elementary schools to support the safe arrival and departure of students in each school. Their work schedules for the crossing guards have been planned based on each school's bell times. In the morning, they are at their post 20 minutes before the morning bell, and then they stay 20 minutes after the dismissal time. As part of this program, all crossing guards receive training as part of and have access to retraining if needed. Training is offered at their school where they're provided the crossing guard duties. This allows the training to be more specific to their location. During the training, we review responsibilities, guidelines, and expectations, and provide the necessary training material and equipment such as a safety vest, a flag and a whistle, and a brochure to perform their duties. The primary duty of a crossing guard is to assist children in crossing the street assigned at times and location. Their first concern is the safety of the students. One of the most important aspects of the crossing guard is that they do not control traffic. Rather, they choose the right time to assist the student to cross. The expectation is to be on time at their location with their equipment, and if they're unable to come to work, they provide an appropriate notice to their school administration. One of the benefits of having trained crossing guards at the school is that children learn by seeing and experiencing the safest place to cross the street to get to school. We review the local traffic regulations, different signs, traffic signs, signals, and crosswalks. We review all the possibilities and discuss where they are going to be stationed. We review the differences in working at a crosswalk or an intersection where there's lights or a stop sign. We also review the crossing guards that have to work close to a traffic circle. We review the school zone regulation, City of Winnipeg bylaw 76/2014, that allows the reduced speed in school zones. We then review some of the Highway Traffic Act for both pedestrian and vehicle. We review some common traffic hazards as there are hazards, and we try to discourage and minimize the hazards as possible. We watch for turning vehicles. Larger vehicles such as buses may take longer to stop, and weather can also be a traffic hazard. The weather we can experience is ice or sun glare that can hinder a driver from stopping quickly. The safest time to cross a student is when there is no traffic. This is not the option at some of our crosswalks. We talk about working with the current traffic and using natural breaks to help cross students safely. The crossing guard may gather a group of students to cross at the same time. Crossing procedures and techniques, we review all the positions. It is essential that we use our flag and vest correctly. These are tools that we use to communicate to drivers. A driver seeing a crossing guard at a crosswalk lets them know that this is a school crossing. The vest should always be worn and attached in the front so you can see the vest from every angle. When we need the drivers to stop, we will raise our flag above our waist out into traffic. When we do not need to communicate with our flag, it is pointed to the ground or behind our body or behind our leg. The crossing guard will also stand out in traffic when they are crossing the students to create a more visibility to drivers who are approaching the crosswalk or intersection. Some defensive patrolling or some quick tips about working in different weather conditions and to all situations that we may encounter. We need to have eye contact with the driver and to have vehicle at a complete stop before crossing a student. The crossing guards work in all weather except when there is lightning. We do not experience cold weather during the year, and the crossing guards dress for the weather. They will dress in layers in the winter with a full winter gear and are encouraged to wear sunscreen in the warmer months. When dealing with an accident with a pedestrian at our post, we train the crossing guards to keep the children away from the scene. We will not remove the victim unless they are in immediate danger of being struck by another vehicle. And the crossing guard will call 911 and contact the school administration. Another support that we offer is in the schools is the school traffic area assessment. In this, if the crossing guards or school have any safety concerns, they contact me and I share a report with the director of facilities to report to the city if needed. In different schools throughout the school year, they observe a vehicle and pedestrian traffic and report any safety concerns. A few examples that have been reported is a crosswalk sign that's been downed, a speed sign that was vandalized, snow not being removed from a crosswalk, or a tree blocking a sign that can't be seen by drivers. Some of the changes we have implemented that are been adding the lights to the Minnetonka crosswalk, asking for the timing of the traffic lights to change at intersections close to the Hastings School crossing, and encouraging the bus loading times to be 15 minutes after the school bell has rung at Shamrock School. By having the buses arrive later, that allows the pedestrian traffic to be cleared out before the heavy traffic is added to the school property. On slide number 4, a walking school bus. A walking school bus is a group of students who walk to and from school with a walking bus supervisor along with on a designated safe route. This walking school bus picks up the students from a designated stop near their home in the morning and then drops them off at the same spot in the afternoon. The walking school bus runs each day for a full year. The program aims to fit the needs of the participants so that your school will establish pickup locations and timetables as soon as the participants have registered. The walking school bus decreases traffic congestion around the schools, because for every child that walks with the bus, potentially is one less vehicle on the road. The walking school bus provides a safe, environmentally friendly route to school, as well as physically activity and a sense of community. The many benefits of a walking school bus is the safe environment, way for children to travel to school, improved health and well-being throughout the walking and talking, excellent opportunity for children to learn the road sense and traffic safety, reduce traffic congestion around schools, an environmentally friendly method of transportation. The current schools that are using this program are Archwood School, Darwin, Hastings School, Lavallee School, Minnetonka School, and Niagara Place School. The purpose of the walking school bus handbook is to help school teams plan and organize an intact a walking school bus program. The handbook provides all the resources and templates as flyers, letters, and resignation form, as well as surveys. All the material can be customized to meet the specific needs in the school. On slide 5, the school bus safety program has been running in our school. The school bus safety patrols program has been running in our schools for over 80 years. We have more than 8,000 patrols in our schools. CAA and the local police support this program and providing training materials and certificates. The school safety program is a team of concerned young Canadians aged 11 to 14 who work closely with the patrol supervisors, their teachers, or school administrators to ensure the safety of young children at school crossings. The elementary schools may have more than one patrol team, depending on how many street crossings they have. Some schools will have a student patrol at an entrance of a parking lot, school bus loop, crosswalks, and at other intersections in the school zone areas. This program provides students with great opportunities, leadership skills, responsibilities to their community, and great experiences. The experiences the patrols include working in teams, which they will learn teamwork and communication skills for the benefits of the community. I would like to ask for Leo and Ethan to come forward and talk about their experience.
Hi, my name is Aiden Duarte. My name is Leo Shafi. We are grade 5 students at École Van Bellingham. Van Bellingham is located in Southdale. We patrol on the corner of Lakewood and Vermilion. It's a busy intersection. I wanted to become a patrol because I got inspired by all the other kids in my class last. I wanted to become a patrol because my 2 older sisters have been patrols. We became patrols because we think it is fun and necessary to cross the road safely. To become a patrol, patrols have to be at our meeting point at 8 a.m. We have to be on time. We also need to work together and cooperate. We need to work with people that are not necessarily our friends. We need permission from our parents to patrol. As a patrol, we needed to learn to stand in the freezing cold and rain. Sometimes we get wet when drivers drive through, but that part is fun. We also learned road safety, like not to stand too close to the boulevard, especially on icy days, and the dangers of crossing the road without patrols. If we hear an emergency vehicle, we make sure that the vehicle can get through the roadway right away, while we keep people safe on the sidewalk. We trained for the different positions. In grade 4, we watched the patrols do their jobs. There are many different positions: Walmart 3-way, Walmart Far, Max Boulevard, Open. Madame Acoma, Madame Sadet coordinate the patrols, and Madame Akers is the patrol teacher. Some of the benefits of doing patrols are: 1, we get to help people cross the road safely, like a daycare and large bus groups. Sometimes cars don't stop, and we make sure to keep the people safe. It's also pretty fun to patrol. We like patrolling because we love helping people cross the road safely, and we like working as a team. We also like how we get treated for our hard work. Even if we did not get the treats, we still like doing it. Some of the treats include discounts on some loose games, chips, snacks, a neon hat, and more. That is the end of our presentation.
We would like to thank the board for time and asking us to present the Safe Routes program at this board meeting, and we're open for questions.
Thank you. Leo and Aiden, I'm gonna invite you to stand up and come stand with Madame because there might be some questions that come your way, so. Trustees, senior team, what questions might you have for this group? You want trustee Turner?
Did you say you were at Lakewood in Vermillion?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that is a very busy intersection.
Yeah.
Good job keeping the rest of the students safe.
I think
Thank
they
you.
have a team of 6 or 8 in that
We
intersection.
have six.
6.
Eight.
Congratulations, good job.
Trustee Garrier and then trustee Palmquist?
How many shifts do you do in a month?
We do it. Every second week.
We often drive by and see your teams and we're so proud of you. We're always just right there for the kids and you're pretty sharp doing it.
Thank you.
You crossed me just yesterday, at Vermillion and Lakewood on my bicycle, and you guys did a great job, so thank you. I felt very safe and, I owe it to you.
Any other questions from the group?
Should we take a picture of them for their family?
Sure.
Oh, yes.
Sure, absolutely.
Want me to do it?
Who's not, well, I'm right across.
I just thought if the kids
Did you
want to
say-
move up to the podium, I don't know if the families would like a picture of their children while they're doing a presentation.
Yeah, we'll take it from a few angles and then we'll send them. That's great, thank you. Did you get it as well? Okay, perfect. Thanks for thinking of that. Any other questions? I have 2 questions.
Okay.
What's the absolute worst weather that you don't even want to get out of bed in the morning because it's gonna be brutal at your corner?
Probably the hail,
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
when it's like really windy and it hits your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worse than the -30, or you probably aren't out when it's that cold, are you?
No, the students don't go out after -27.
-26, okay, well, that's
That's
still
pretty cold,
really,
still.
really
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
That's still cool.
I think the patrols are out for 10 minutes. And crossing guards are usually half an hour.
Okay, great. The other question I have was, Leo, I think it was yourself, you were talking about, you ended with open, and there was, I don't know what came before that. Is that,
That was Aiden. Yeah, that was me.
yeah,
So that might be the,
is that the different locations or what is,
Each corner is called something different.
okay.
oh, is it?
Position.
Yeah, so which corner is open?
Open is kind of like our school, and then there's 2 positions.
Like there's the sidewalk going like this,
Yeah.
and then open is like right here.
Oh, so it's the corner by the
Yeah.
school.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
you've got, the locations are all given numbers or letters or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and do you rotate them, like every 2 weeks, or you have the same one for the whole year?
We have the same one for the whole year,
Excellent.
unless you need to
Yeah.
sub in for another person.
Ah, okay. Right,
Do you have a favorite corner?
My favorite is Max Boulevard.
I like Max Bar.
any particular reason, or?
I like stopping the multiple cars.
Oh.
Don't have to wait for the light, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I'm just better at Max Boulevard than
Alright.
anything else.
All right. Trustee Palmquist?
Sure, Diane. In terms of your, reporting concerns, process, do you have any of those that are, outstanding or?
Not currently.
Unresolved?
No, and they usually get turned around pretty quickly because I use my Louis Real School Division email address. So I usually gets turned around quite quickly. I usually notice a change within a couple of days to a week.
I would be curious, in terms of the nature of types of things that you are able to report. So like for example, missing sign,
Mhm.
damage, obstructed view.
Mhm.
Is there any, space for like, I would call
I
it
can-
like broader?
I can put details in my, like, I just do it online because
Right.
it's faster than calling. And I'm able to give them a very good description. And then by giving them my email address, I'm able to trace it from my computer when it's completed.
Right. I guess I more along the lines of like broader concerns beyond a specific issue.
Okay.
For instance, like
Like when there's a safety concern, like.
yeah, like a recurring problem, that's something that.
So sometimes for that kind of thing, I would go and do a safety report for that, and I would go at different times, different days of the week,
That's
and then
great.
make a sort of like a more detailed information gathering,
Mhm.
and then I would meet with Anna Beer regarding what we would do about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
Yes, just, it's great what you do. I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming down here. It was a lot of fun to see you. But do you think you guys, like your classmates and the drivers, generally, are they respectful towards you? Like, do they, you have many problems dealing with people, or is it pretty good on generally?
Well, not usually.
Well, sometimes,
Yeah,
depending on
sometimes.
the drivers. Sometimes there's drivers that are like, they just need to get somewhere,
Yeah.
then they just like drive through
Hmm.
and they pass by. And then there's some drivers who like will wait the whole time.
Or which?
They will wait.
Yeah, they'll wait.
Oh, okay, yeah. The most of the drivers, but your other classmates are pretty good at following you and being behind the lines and all that sort of thing? Yeah. I gotta echo that, Trustee Turner, because my kids are both, patrols again, they're at, MAG, and it's certainly not an intersection like Vermillion and,
No,
but they had a much easier time of it.
Yeah.
At school, but you really must really work hard at that intersection, so.
they have great
Thumbs up.
communication at that, like the
Yeah.
patrols at that location.
Yeah.
They really work really well with their communication to each other.
Tremendous, great, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, everybody. We appreciate that you are willing to get up so early in the morning to safe passage for students and are very grateful that you put your hand up to do that work. So thank you very much. And you are welcome to stay for the whole entire meeting if you want. You are under no obligation whatsoever. And we'll get those photos over. Have a good night. Well.
Thank you very much.
I'm Michelle. All right, that takes us to, wasn't that great? That was just awesome.
Did we
Yeah.
do that the whole meeting?
I don't know if Jeff noticed, but that crossing guard is the younger brother of the air cadet who was at the citizenship ceremony yesterday. Who was also valiant.
Item 5, finance and audit. We've got one item, and that is just to share the spotlight story, the press release, and our infographic that have been up on the website.
Yeah, so it's just a quick update for the trustees and community that now that our budget's over, we've we've published information on our website as well as did a press release. So click on our website under school board budget. And a spotlight story that details what our budget is, and you can view a snapshot of the budget on the link, which will take you to the infographic, which is nice and beautiful and colorful, which kind of gives you a high level detail of our budget and what it's made up of. And so I encourage the community to start clicking away and looking at our numbers.
Great, thank you. Does anybody want to ask any questions or make any comments? Trustee Kolachek.
We have a lot of questions, especially in our community in Island Lakes and Sage Creek, in regards to full day K, and when the parents will be contacted. So is there any timelines that we can share with the parents? Like, is it, I mean, spring break is like 3 days away, but is it in April, just to give, because parents are starting to get anxious, right? Their child is entering kindergarten and we're trying to figure things out, some of them for the first time, so it's just, can we give them some information in regards to like when they could expect to hear from their school or the division? Christian will answer that, Kate.
Yeah, we have a series of emails that have gone out to to all parents of children who are registered for kindergarten. And the emails share about more information to come and a survey request of all parents. Again, with children that have that are registered. So there is an ask in the email to parents that have registered. Well, first of all, an acknowledgement. Thank you to parents having already registered for September. And a request that they reach out to neighbors or friends that they know will be registering children in kindergarten to get the word out. And so this initial email will make its way to all families registering their child for kindergarten in the days, weeks, months to come. And so the email sets the stage for lots of conversations to come. And especially in a few of our schools where we're going to have to talk about the space challenges, but not having that challenge of space be an impediment to implementing full day kindergarten. And so the invitation for some of the parents in these 3 schools, so parents in these 3 schools, is inviting them to a meeting in April to talk about finding solutions to the challenges that we'll be experiencing next year. And an email's gone out to our childcare providers, also inviting them to a meeting. So there's a survey to try to determine the best date to have that meeting after spring break with our childcare providers. And an email has gone out to all staff, again, setting the stage and letting our early years teachers, our kindergarten teachers know that there's lots more communication to come and dialogue, opportunity for learning and preparation to come.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item 6, staffing. We have 2 items. The first one is a termination. Recommendation is that the board terminate employee 240852 effective immediately. I need a mover and seconder, please. Moved by trustee Palmquist, second, trustee Sigurdsson. There'll be no questions on this item. All those in favor? Any opposed?
It didn't pop up. Sorry.
You can just vote verbally.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
4.
Yeah, 4. Then the motion is carried. Thank you. Second item is appointing a principal to Collège Jean Sauvé.
The senior leadership team is recommending that the board appoint Sharad Srivastava to the principalship at Collège Jean Sauvé effective August 1st, 2024.
Right, so the recommendation then, as was stated, is that Sharad Srivastava be appointed principal at Collège Jean Sauvé effective August 1, 2024. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Trustee Turner, second, trustee Garrier. All in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried, and we congratulate Sharad on this appointment and wish him great success in this new opportunity challenge. We have a number of items coming to us as information. One is a capital projects update.
I'll have colleagues share a series of updates. We'll start with École Sage Creek Bonavista and our secretary treasurer.
Thank you. So I'm just pulling up some pictures on the screen that were taken about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now. But I think that was right after the nice little snowstorm that we got a couple of days. But since then, I was on site last week and it was very, very muddy and ruined a pair of shoes. So I'm not choked up about it. It was just my favorite pair, but that's okay. We're okay. So the total completion or the total project completion is 31% as of yesterday. And of that, the building construction portion is 17% complete. This includes milestones of grade beams, which are substantially completed at 92%. Our foundation as a whole is at 75% complete. Weeping tile exterior is 95% complete. They're about halfway through installing the elevators. As you can see from the pillars in the pictures here. And so considering the weather, the construction is making really good progress. So I'd just like to extend my appreciation to Amberbeer and the team at Bird Construction and Number 10 for moving this construction along.
I'm going to ask Assistant Superintendent Cormack to provide an update about Marion School.
So you will recall that I recently brought around the resolution to the bus loop for the plans for the Marion School Edition. And so with those now in place, I'm happy to report, working alongside Prairie Architect, that our next steps include 66 submission with Class B pricing for April 12th. We're looking to hold a community open house in April to share the vision with community and the updates that we have. And then in the next few weeks, a conditional use and variance application will go forward with a development permit application in early June. 99% submission with Class A pricing in mid-July. Tender and building permit applications in early August, and awarding that contract then in end of September. And looking ahead with hopeful substantial completion by 20. Some exciting news for the Marion School community, and we look forward to that community open house where we can share some of the vision and pictures with them.
Thank you.
With respect to J.H. Bruns Collegiate, communication was sent home yesterday about the roof structural reinforcement project that's ongoing. And as for Collège Jeanne Sauvé, we've had important meetings bringing together the field house, the Dakota Community Center, and we're going to have to bring different levels of government together. That hasn't happened yet. But we've had an important meeting with the Dakota Field House, the community center, that is, our landscape architects and the school to talk about a site plan development, to agree on a site plan development, so that we can now bring the conversation, city, federal, and provincial governments help support that project. And the vision essentially is a multi-use field in the back of the school. On the inside of the school, we have the fitness center almost completed. And so it'll be ready for occupation at some point after the break. And as the weather turns to spring, we'll see work on the outside of the building completed, the parking lot to the north of the school, and some structural work, some foundation work along the community commons, the cafeteria in the back, and a celebration planned for the community to christen the addition and all the renovations.
Any questions on any of these three items? I'm assuming that.
That's it.
Okay. Any questions on any of these three? All right, seeing none, we move to the leadership team meeting.
Well, trustees see the agenda for the meeting. We continue with our focus in the morning, giving time to school leaders to focus on their own learning and a project-based approach where they bring their instructional leadership to life, moving the multi-year strategic plan forward in their schools. It's also an opportunity for them to learn alongside folks on the senior leadership team and folks on the school and classroom support team. Last Wednesday in the afternoon, we focused on the work of the attendance task force. Plans for treaty education. So there's a mandate, Manitoba government of Manitoba mandate to have all staff. Is it teachers? It's all employees. All staff, all employees go through treaty education. We have until December of 2025 to have all staff go through a training and then sustaining that training beyond December 2025 as we welcome new staff most every day, sometimes of the year, at some points in the year. And thinking, of course, that a training in 2024 will need to renew itself at some point. So we have catalyst educators that are building on what we've all read, our journey that we've been on for some time in LRSD as it relates to Indigenous education. So building on all of that strength, we're designing a local approach to this treaty education that meets with government expectations. And so we talk about our thinking with principals and vice principals and ask for their feedback. And finally, we left a good portion of time for questions related to budget, staffing. Principals and vice principals received all of their staffing in a comprehensive way the day before the meeting. And so that was a first in our history that school principals and vice principals received as comprehensive a staffing picture for the next school year. So they were very appreciative of that, and I'm very appreciative of all the work that's gone into that. Staffing allocation coming to principals and vice principals so early in the school year. And we also talked about Power School, a new student information system that we're implementing for next year. And talked about the ongoing evolution of the early universal screening we have for literacy and numeracy. We talked about other elements of our multi-year strategic plan. Of course, you in adopting your budget for next year as a board have accomplished strategic action 4.3, implementing a universal full-day kindergarten program in LRSD, and we talked about that and the next steps to delivering on that promise. That was the meeting.
Trustees, any questions on this? Trustee Turner and then trustee Norman.
The attendance task force, is that like student attendance?
That's right. So we've talked in the past about that student attendance task force. We've talked about the previous government's changes to policy as it relates to student attendance and their initiative. And this new government is also talking about well, the worrying trends we're seeing as it relates to student attendance. So coming out of the pandemic, we've shared lots with the board about the metrics we're seeing. You can see them on our website. And so we put together a task force. We talked about it in our annual report to the community. We put together this task force last year, and it continues to do work. That anyone is invited to be a part of the task force, but we have a committed group of school leaders and divisional staff meeting regularly to talk about the challenges of a worrisome trend relative to student absences, chronic absences, and what are we going to do to see a change to the trend. And so it was an opportunity last Thursday, to bring everyone together around that concern. And so trustees can expect to learn more in future meetings. And can expect to see, along with the community, continued reporting, transparency with the community, refined reports about what we're seeing, and hopefully what we're going to see is a change in the trend.
Thank you.
Mr. Norton?
Yeah, my question was about that attendance and if we're having any, maybe this is old school, but any conversations regarding the attainment of credits aligned with attendance. Is that an issue? How is that being handled?
Help me understand.
If a student misses 40 classes and trying during the course of a semester, can they still achieve a credit when the credit hours are aligned with attendance? So how is that being dealt with?
Well, so, and this is a new approach to how we do all we can to build that relationship with a student, a young person in high school, struggling to be in school. And the factors can be, there are so many factors that can explain why that is. And so, I mean, this was true when I was a principal back in the 90s and early 2000s. And it's still true today. We find ways of building a relationship with a young person and having them connect with the school, connect with the learning journey they're on.
I guess I'm more talking about the kids who are connected with the school, but with the hallways of the school.
Right.
Rather than the classrooms of the
Yeah,
school.
well, so they're at
So
least
can they
connected, right?
still achieve credit?
And so they're at least connected. And so it's working with those kids, whether they're outside the school in the community or in the school. And so we find alternatives to working with those students, with the goal of helping nurture an independence and autonomy, and the success being in the classroom.
But can they still achieve a credit if they don't attend 1/3 of the classes?
No, in this instance, what they're doing is what they're to achieve a credit, what we'll often be working on is outside of the classroom setting, working in the context of student services, working on learning in the context of a credit, and staying connected and believing in themselves as learners, and again, growing that sense of confidence and that and addressing whatever factors are impeding the positive relationship we want for them in a school. Is that helping at all?
Nope.
Okay.
But philosophically,
Because I'm trying to.
I know,
understand.
but philosophically, I'm completely aligned with that.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm questioning is are we meeting, a minimum standard of, learning if kids are not in class? And if they're still achieving a credit and the belief in the student body is that I can achieve a credit and I don't necessarily have to go to class, is that what our task force is recognizing? And that philosophy is maybe driving some of the attendance issues.
I don't think that's the culture we have developing in our schools.
I would
think
say
the
it's
majority.
across the province.
Okay,
Is,
but I think from my observation and experiences, I think the vast majority of students want to be in school, want to be in classroom. And in those instances where students are experiencing challenges, what I want to say is I want to believe that when students are working towards a credit, whether it's in the context of the classroom or the context of students, an alternative approach that is, I believe, meant to be a temporary approach, that we are seeing evidence of learning before we provide a professional judgment that they have, that they are deserving of a credit.
well, I'll be interested as more information comes from the attendance task force for sure.
Accessibility plan updates.
Thank you. So I first just want to remind everyone, as I have talked in the past about the accessibility standards that currently exist, we have an accessible customer service standard, accessible employment standard, and those are already in effect. And then the one that we're working on presently that comes into effect in May 2024 is the accessible information communication standard. And I've talked to you at length about some of the features of that. And I want to give a big shout out to Clark Hagan, our from Information Services Systems. And the work that his team is doing to position ourselves to be in compliance at May. A large part of the work will be around staff training, and that will unfold in September. What I want to draw your attention to this evening is the accessible transportation standard regulation that in December 2023, and we will need to be in compliance with for 2027. And so it speaks to a broad range of transportation regulations. And so this will be now the work of the Accessibility Working Committee to unpack those regulations and to see which apply to schools specifically. Parts, if you're very interested in this regulation, I would draw your attention to Part 7, which focuses on transportation, school transportation, and also just let you know that in place already, clearly there are Canadian standards for transportation of students on school buses. And so we have a regulation guide that we have implemented already. That's from the CSA group, the Canadian Standards Association. And we also have the school buses regulation from the Manitoba regulation 46588. We're really interested. And so I will bring more information about this regulation as it pertains to our school buses, but rest assured that we have regulations.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Information evening for prospective employees.
So last Thursday evening, we welcomed 80 prospective LRSD teachers into the Legacy Center. As part of that evening, we had a panel of 5 current LRSD teachers, which was moderated by a student facilitator. The student is a member of our divisional student advisory group, and she moderated a beautiful sharing by those educators around their reasons for teaching in LRSD, what led them to choosing this division, what keeps them working within this division. After that panel, we had just a brief sharing on how to apply for positions. And then one of the highlights of the evening is at every table, we had at least one school leader who was able to network and answer questions of the 80 guests in attendance. That looked like sometimes introducing them to a school leader that might have more knowledge or expertise around the areas of interest. around, as well as networking with members of the senior leadership team. So feedback from that evening has been very positive. I got an email a couple of days later from one of our leaders who said, you know, a friend's child was in attendance and said, oh, I was thinking of a different division, but the information that I received that evening has made me want to consider LRSD much more closely. And so in that evening, we had representation from both teachers who are shortly leaving faculty, and so new teachers. But in addition to that, we did have experienced teachers who, based on the work that we're doing in the division, are curious about us. We also were fortunate to have LRTA present there that evening, again, just showing a strong relationship that we as a division have with the teachers union. And so it was great having the president of LRTA, Jay McGurran, there to answer questions for any of the participants as well.
Great, thank you. Questions on this item? Trustee Treasurer?
Just one, was 80 the maximum allowed, or was there some people that we couldn't fit in there, or?
So it was open invitation, just advertised on our social media. One of the things that we know we were in conflict the month of March is reporting and parent teacher conferences and that kind of thing. And so we're revisiting when would be perhaps a more suitable time, but just in terms of the registration, the Friday before we had 47 registrants, and that jumped within the course of a week up to 80. And we did have inquiries from a number of people asking if it would be recorded, if there was another opportunity for them to learn about the information. And so we're taking that feedback in terms of how might we improve on this event in coming years. And maybe it's a question of, you know, early April as opposed to March, when we know particularly our K-8 colleagues are quite busy. Maybe it looks hybrid in another instance. I mean, that takes away a bit from the personalization of the event and being able to sit next to a principal or a superintendent and ask them questions about the division. But yeah, we're looking at the feedback that we received, which was part of the evening. We had a little feedback loop that we asked folks to leave us with. What are the things that they were hoping to take away that they didn't receive from that? So yeah, we'll take that feedback to see if we can make it better.
That was a great idea, and I think it's wonderful to showcase Louis Riel to the prospective teachers. How many, or was there a chance for them to take the application forms and to leave anything, or, you know?
Yeah, so our application process for term and perm teachers is all online, and so that will be commencing in the month of April. And so we shared that information. Our substitute application is still a paper application. We're working on changing that piece, but we did have paper applications there that we handed out to people who hadn't already applied. In one instance, I had one prospective teacher who is an internationally educated teacher who's about to receive their permanent certification, and so sat down and started filling it out immediately. We had some folks who had the opportunity to hand out resumes, and that was really what we wanted to develop, a bit of an intimacy. So it's not just we're giving you information, but you as a prospective teacher also have that opportunity to sit and meet with leaders in our division who might, you know, see your name on a job application later on down the way.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
Monthly updates regarding communications and social media.
This dashboard for February.
Goes all in the right direction down.
Top tweet was just what we talked about, the information evening. And on Facebook, in a post about substitute and casual position, because we had a day in February, you'll recall. LinkedIn, community and settlement services, another opportunity, a job opportunity. Instagram, École Varenne and Lavallee School, Festival du Voyageur activity. Websites, draft budgets was the top story. Still page views there. And YouTube, you continue to be the show everyone wants to watch. And then we have our MailChimp campaigns to guardians, leadership and staff. And As I said earlier, we have a new campaign related to universal full day kindergarten that has started. And we'll see the metrics on that in the coming weeks and months. And speaking of job opportunities, a posting has gone out for a general posting for kindergarten. It's gone out. So you can look for that on your favorite social media channel.
Excellent. Thank you. Seeing no questions, we'll move on to correspondence. We have some information received. There are letters from the department, some related to the nutrition funding information, some related to the Public Schools Amendment Act. These are all anticipated and expected communications, some from the education funding branch, and then there's some general emails received regarding a variety of topics. Was there anything that anybody wanted to point to specifically? All right, then there were a few letters that were sent out from the board and then information received from the Manitoba School Boards Association. And a lot of that is related to upcoming convention with this week. So we will file these and as we do. We have 2 action items. The first one is related to the Nelson McIntyre Collegiate and Windsor Park Collegiate areas. And the recommendation is that whereas high school catchment areas typically align with those at the elementary schools in their corresponding family of schools, and whereas this practice contributes to a sense of community and facilitates enrollment forecasting and transition planning, and whereas enrollment pressures have compelled the board to redesignate Watersides Estates and Camille's neighborhoods to the Marion School catchment area, effective September 5th, 2023, that was motion 096, and to exchange building assignments, of Windsor Park Collegiate and College Bellevaux, effective September 2nd, 2025, which was motion 031 last year, and 2021 motion 137. Be it resolved that the catchment area of Nelson McIntyre Collegiate be altered to align with the catchment areas of Marion School, Archwood School, and Nordale School. That the catchment areas of Windsor Park Collegiate be altered to align with the catchment areas of General Vanier School and Frontenac School, and that priority consideration be given to schools of choice applications that would see siblings attend the same high school. I need a mover and a seconder, please, for this motion. Trustee Sigurdsson, second. Trustee Nordheim. Any questions on this item? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? And the motion is carried. So, thank you much. And the second item is related to Ward 1 catchment. This is a housekeeping piece to ensure that officially the board recognizes the Ward 1 catchment and what it includes for the purpose of the upcoming by-election. So the recommendation is that the board reaffirm the Ward 1 catchment to include portions of the rural municipality of Springfield, which is shown on the map that trustees can look at for reference if they need to. So I need a mover and seconder for this, please. Trustee Gary, your second. Trustee Kolachek, any questions? All in favor? Oh, sorry, Trustee Pomper.
Or what does this entail or mean?
The original map that we submitted to the city, correct?
Yeah, I can speak to this. So historically, in every election, we get our election map from the city of Winnipeg outlining our boundaries for each of the wards. But in those maps, it's never drawn the election or the catchment outside of the city of Winnipeg. So RM of Springfield and RM of Richelieu. And so this is just recognizing that we do have pieces outside of the city of Winnipeg in RM of Richelieu and Springfield that encompass our catchment area.
And are these areas occupied by residents?
Yes. Yeah, no change in any boundaries or anything.
I should have provided that clarity up front. I apologize. Any other questions?
Yeah, just another question, just to explain that we're considered an urban district, obviously, but there are pieces that go beyond the perimeter and out of the city of Winnipeg, and that has tax implications, it has voting implications. We always have to keep on top of this, so thank you, our Secretary Treasurer, for keeping on top of it for us and letting us know. Thank you.
Okay, so all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? And the motion is carried. Thank you very much. So we have arrived at public question periods. Gentlemen, any questions for us tonight? No, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Any questions from the folks online? Seeing none? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.